All right, let's talk weather. So it was a fairly warm day, but first I want to show you this picture. This is from Guardsman Pass. If you wanted to escape the heat, this was the place to go. Scott Taylor sent this one in. We're already starting to see some changes in the color, not in this picture in particular, but I was just up there yesterday and I noticed a couple of trees turning orange. Speaking of orange, let's take a look at this orange sunset. Meg Roberts sent this in overlooking the Salt Lake Valley. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you for sending their pictures our way. We love to see them and we love to share them here on ABC4. Temperatures right now are fairly nice outside. We're in the 70s and 60s, right around room temperature in a lot of areas down I-15 in central and southern Utah. 89 degrees in St. George, 10 degrees warmer up here on the Wasatch Front. We're sitting at 79 degrees. Those temperatures, of course, will continue to drop, reaching 72 degrees by around midnight. Clear skies hold on all the way through the night and into the morning. 60s, we're going to be bottoming out tonight, and then we'll warm up to the upper 70s by 10 o'clock and eventually the 80s and yes, the 90s. Lows tonight will be in the 60s and 70s and a couple of 50s across the state as well. 58 degrees in Logan, 66 degrees will be the low tonight here in Salt Lake. Take a look at the sunset at Ivins. This is our Black Desert Sky Cam showing off the gorgeous color gradient there. Now, it was clear there today, but we do expect moisture to start to move on in. Tomorrow, we don't expect too much precipitation. The precipitation potential wrapping around that high, but as the high continues to lift to the north, that precipitation potential will lift to the north as well. And by Wednesday, southwest Utah should be looking at a few showers yet again. Our Futurecast walks us through the timing here. You're going to notice as that high pressure lifts, the moisture lifts as well. And Tuesday, we do have a slight chance. We can't rule it out Tuesday evening, but we do have dry air near the surface, so I suspect that it's going to be evaporating long before it reaches the ground, but we can't rule it out again. And then by Wednesday, I think it'll chip away at that dry layer enough that monsoon moisture will push a little bit further north, and as it digs deeper, it's going to dig lower towards the surface as well, and it'll eventually reach the ground. High pressure moves to the north. We mentioned that. The moisture starts to sneak in underneath that ridge. We also have low pressure system off the coast of California that'll be throwing a little bit of moisture that way. And it'll continue lifting as we get through the midweek. And by the time we close out the work week, we have moisture across the region. And then we have our eye on another system that'll be moving in from the Pacific Northwest over the weekend. Won't move over us, but it'll still throw moisture our way as we get through the weekend and even into next week. Monday, we could still be holding on to a few showers. A regional forecast for tomorrow shows temperatures will be fairly similar to where they were today. A little bit more cloud coverage than we saw today in the south, though. Let's punch this in so we could break it down just a little more. The Wasatch Front will be in the low to mid 90s, while the Wasatch Back is in the 80s. Central Utah also looking at a mix of 80s and 90s. 95 degrees for Green River, low 90s down I-15. Nephi at 86 degrees, Gunnison at 90 flat. And then down in southern Utah, with that increase in moisture, we do see partly cloudy skies. Can't rule out a shower or two, especially in the southern mountains, and temperatures in the 80s and 90s for most of the region. 101 will be the high in St. George tomorrow. Now, the triple digits, they don't last very long. We do have a slight chance of precipitation tomorrow, but then as that moisture continues filling on in, those temperatures drop. And we're looking at isolated thunderstorms for your Wednesday and Thursday, becoming more scattered Friday and Saturday before starting to taper off on Sunday and Monday, but there is still going to be moisture present. As for the Wasatch Front, 90s gradually cooling down, eventually reaching the 80s to close out the work week, with isolated thunderstorms on deck for your Friday and your Saturday and even Sunday, all the way through Monday, actually. So Friday through Monday, we are looking at cooler temperatures and an increase in moisture. So that's good news. We really need it. We had the moisture last week, but we still need more.
Bring it on, I say.
Bring it on.
Okay, fall is here. Well, almost.
Yeah.